Welcome to episode 1. This is AJ Morton. I'm Jonathan Leavitt. We are going to film a challenge. Why did you want to call it the Pickle Challenge?
Well, it kind of puts you in the middle of a pickle, to be honest, because he says you got to get 2 baits and they got to be picked at random by picking them out of a hat. And then you have to catch fish with those baits that you're given.
All day long. So the idea is AJ and I are going to take on a certain body of water, be it river, reservoir, lake, whatever. But we've kind of narrowed down types of baits into categories. Like we have swim jigs, hard baits. Worms is its own category. Creature baits. What's the other one?
Spinners.
Yeah, spinner baits. So I think there's a total of 5. And we're also going to put in the Joker's Wild. And we're also going to put in your opponent picks. So we're basically going to put all those in a hat, and we pick one out, each pick one. And the next day, this trip, which is tomorrow, we're fishing a reservoir, that's what we have to use. Point system is pretty easy. We're doing under 10 inches is a half a point for largemouth bass. 10 inches to 15 is 1 point. 15 to 18 inches is 2 points. 18 to 21 is 5 points, and if one of us is lucky enough to get something over 21 inches tomorrow, we're looking at 8. Yeah, right? 8 points.
Be a friendly challenge. It's going to be competitive as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to make you be a better angler because you only get stuck with 2 baits for the whole day.
Yeah. Anyway, next, now we got to go pick our baits out of a hat. See you soon. This is it. We've got 8 categories.
Including the wild.
Yep. And opponent picks too. So tomorrow we're doing a reservoir. It's my home waters. I'm gonna let AJ. I'm not gonna have a fish finder on there. I'm gonna let him take a fish finder just to kind of even out the playing field because it is my home waters, and it wouldn't
Which
be
is
fair.
nice of you.
I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll return the favor.
Yeah.
So seeing that you've got a fish finder, I'm gonna pick first.
Go for it.
So totally random. And the first one of the baits I have to use tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Worm. That's my bread and butter.
Great.
Awesome. I'm pumped about that. So now, worm goes back in there. Because it's got to be even through the whole thing. You know, there's some things he's good at, some things I'm good at, but it's got to be
I really don't want the worm.
So worm's going right back in.
Let me shake that thing up for me. All right.
Bet you gets worm.
Probably. Let's see what I get.
Get out of town.
Spinnerbait.
Ah, that's pretty decent. Fall.
That's what I wanted to throw.
Ah, spinnerbait's actually pretty decent.
I like that one.
All right, cool.
So
we get one more pick each. And if we pick the same one, it goes back. And we just pick again. All right. This one is... Oh, wild!
Great.
Oh, man. What am I going to pick? Tough one.
Well, think on it.
Yeah.
And let me
Go ahead.
pick.
You pick the next one.
Are you going to throw that back in here?
Oh, yeah. I guess you do get a wild, right?
All right. No, I think that's the wild.
How do you know?
Because I think so.
Is it? You got a wild too?
Yeah.
Get out of town. So we both got wild. So since this is episode 1, this is what we're going to do. AJ's going to keep his wild a secret. I'm going to keep my wild a secret.
Yeah,
and we're going to announce it tomorrow. So I'm not going to say what I plan on fishing for our wild. I've got a worm. You've got spinnerbaits. That's all we can fish. It's going to be fun. We'll see how it works out.
I guess it's our bait of choice, right?
Anything you want. But it's in the category. You got
within the categories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. We got to pick out the categories. All right. Whoa. All right. So this is our confessional booth, kind of like a real world kind of thing. My wild, I'm going to pick hard baits because We said any style works. So I'm going to troll. It's fall. Bass are chasing the shad and the bait fish are kind of schooling up, getting ready to go back in the creeks. And I'm picking hard baits because if push comes to shove, I'm going to troll. And trolling off a kayak can be very effective. Just by how slow, and if you get, especially if you're using suspended, crankbaits or plugs, you can get those things just to stay right on there. So, crankbaits and worms, I'm pretty pumped and confident about it. AJ's a great fisherman, so I'm definitely got my my work cut out for me. But I think we're crankbaits and worms tomorrow on the reservoir.
That turned out pretty nice for me. With the spinnerbait, the swim bait, I think I'm going to use as my wild card. I do pretty well with swim baits, so I feel like that's going to be the ticket tomorrow at the reservoir. They're starting to pick up a lot of shad. So 3-inch swim baits, 3.5-inch swim baits should be gold. I don't think John has a chance because I don't know what he's going to pick for his wild card. I guess I'll find out tomorrow. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Challenge day. I've got worms and crankbaits. AJ, what'd you get?
I picked swim baits as my wild, and I got spinner baits. So I'm really excited about that.
He's got some unbelievably large swim baits. Makes sense. He is from California, and that's what they use out there. So it doesn't surprise me. He's bringing some West Coast style on the East Coast. So you want to get out there and do it?
Yeah.
Let's hit it, man.
Only systematic people use it, tell us what. A bunch of old bones yelling who hooray won't small. It's hard telling who we even fighting anymore.
So it's been an hour. I've already lost one bait. Man, this wind is tough. It's seriously blowing like 20, 25. So the idea is to try and find some areas out of the wind. Hate the wind. Wind's horrible. So I'm gonna go search and try to find some areas, but as I'm doing that, I lucked out and got my wild, and I picked hard baits. So I'm basically gonna slow troll until I find some areas out of the wind and hopefully pick some up. AJ's getting his butt kicked by the wind. He's just He's sitting out there just doing circles. It's crazy, but it's tough. The wind is definitely, I can deal with anything except the wind. It's like, it's the one Achilles heel in a kayak, but what you gotta do is you gotta use the wind to your advantage. So this is one of my older baits. You can see where bass have hit that. Just nailed it. Let's see.
Been battling this wind all day, and it's been really cramping my style. I've been stuck on the swim bait. I'm using maybe about a 5-inch, 5.5-inch swim bait. I've been throwing the spinner bait. Haven't had any luck. I can't seem to find exactly where they are. See, I wish I can go to a lot slower presentation, like a fluke or just a jig, but I can't use none of that stuff. So I can only use spinner baits and use swim baits. I'm trying to stay positive, but this wind is killing me. Non-stop wind, blowing me all over the place. I gotta sit there and fight that. And then on top of that, I have no idea what John's doing. So he could have 20 fish. This is his home water. I'm staying confident that my swim bait and spinner bait will work.
Well, it was a good challenge. I think I've got like 12, 13 points. I need to kind of do the math. Got 7. And was it windy? I mean, it was the biggest one I caught. I almost don't want to feel bad about taking credit for, because I was literally getting turned around by the wind. Had my bait in the water. Had to put the rod down. When I picked it up, there she was. We're gonna add up the points, see who won, and then whoever lost is it's a good one, but I'm gonna wait and see before I say say what the deal is, but typically I'm changing baits, retying, I mean constantly. So this was definitely a more relaxing trip because I pretty much threw a 10-inch curly tail the entire day. I tried drop shot, too windy for that, and a couple other things, but the 10-inch curly tail started to produce. Actually caught one bass that was smaller than my worm. But anyway, we're gonna see who wins.
I just got off the water. Didn't go as planned. Definitely tough. And the only reason why it was tough is because the baits I had. I should have played my wild a little bit better. Was like, okay, well I'm gonna go with my comfort, which my comfort is a swim bait. And I didn't do that well. It was a little cold for them. You know, we got a cold front coming in, got a storm coming in, so you would think they would be feeding heavy, but they were real sluggish and real slow. So every one that I caught was on a very slow presentation, really slow rolling, just cast and let it sit, almost dead sticking, and they would just take it, boom, and they'd be gone. So it goes to show you, when they turn off a shad, they turn off a shad. I don't know what John got. He might have beat me. He had worm, and if you had that worm, you can just cast it in there and slow, steady. I think he would have been better than me. The worms have a little bit more action than just a swim bait. Swim bait's kind of got to be moving or have some kind of current, and this was a reservoir, so it didn't have any current. It's tough.
All right, so it's been about a month. We didn't get a chance to really film an exit because work. AJ had to roll to work, but we factored up the points, and I was the winner. It was close. You know, AJ came close within the last about hour, and then I found a pocket of bass and just killed him. But so, what'd you think? What'd you think of the Pickle Challenge?
I thought it was great. Definitely helps you become a better angler just by using 3 baits. Was it 3 baits?
2 baits.
2 baits.
Yeah, because I had worm. We both got wild, and my first pick was worm. Your first pick was spinnerbait, and we both ended up getting wild. And you picked swim baits, which I thought you were going to kill me, honestly. And I picked hard baits. And the reason I picked the hard baits was we said any style of fishing, and I felt push comes to shove. If I couldn't find any fish, or my pattern wasn't working, I could at least troll. And trolling isn't my ideal way of fishing, but to win a competition, it's what you have to do, right? So since I'm the winner, we have another challenge that we're going to film very shortly. It involves money, budgeting out, what you're going to fish and what you're going to fish with. And so basically we're going to start with $500 Monopoly money, and buy our rods, buy our individual baits. There's a couple little special things that we can buy, like a 10-minute head start, and I'll get into more of that the next episode. But I'm going to get an extra $100 for winning the challenge, and but we're going to hopefully get that filmed shortly and get it done. So, got anything more to say, man?
Not really, man. You kind of covered everything.
I know. All right. So anyway, it was fun. Pickle Challenge was a success.